Hi, I'm Ken Brown, CEO of Destiny Global, and welcome to this episode of Success Tips. Today is a fun edition of this because we're going to be talking about the law of value, and the law of value specifically relating to me versus the turkey. You can kind of see where I'm going with this. You know, it's that we're entering the holiday season, and it is a battle to keep our health and keep keep on target with our plans as far as eating and all the things that go around that. And why that is so important, because our bodies are a temple, right? The greatest book ever written tells us our body is a temple of God, and we need to take care of it, because when we don't, all these things start happening. And I'm going to cover a little bit of my journey, my own health journey today on this episode. What is Success Tips? Success Tips is a bi-weekly teaching that myself, Dr. April Brown, and Jackie and Carmen O'Quinn, the master trainers here at Destiny Global, do to make sure that we're plugging into you to give you tips to stay on track with your life. And today is the day for me. It's my turn. And this topic is so relevant to me because of this, because it's been a journey that I have been on, actually struggled with on and off, and really after I turned 40 years old. I am 56 right now. And ever since our kids got, to a certain age, and you start going through the fast food lines, and you start breaking the pattern where you're eating healthy to just eating quickly and what's convenient, and we'll trade comfort and convenience for our health, which is a really bad idea, right? In fact, trading anything for comfort and convenience over what is best for you is never a good idea. But when it comes to your health, oh my goodness, because better health results in increased energy. Increased energy, guess what it does? It increases your capacity. It increases your attitude. You have a positive mental attitude. People who exercise or who are watching their diet actually feel better about themselves than people that do not. And the numbers are staggering. How about this? 93% of the individuals that actually have positive health habits feel good about themselves. 7% don't because of some other reason, right? Think about that for a moment. Individuals that do not do this actually typically don't give much thought to it, or they have negative self-thought about themselves. So meaning that they're trying to either ignore it, that problem doesn't exist, this hamburger, these fries aren't going to affect me, which we know is not true. Or we go to the other side is, well, I'm never going to do this right, and then you get into a funk, and you actually go into a spiral where you're emotionally eating. And neither one of those are good situations. But I can tell you personally from my own thing, mine was a little bit different than that. Mine was reward eating. Yes, I know you're looking at me and say, Ken Brown, what does that mean? Well, every time that something good happened, I made a sale at the office, the kids did something good, we got a good grade, the dog went outside to use the bathroom. I'm exaggerating, but I'm really getting to, I would reward everything. Ladies and gentlemen, I was a consummate rewarder. And guess what? That ended up in being daily, sometimes multiple trips to Starbucks, certainly eating out. That's what happens when you're not counting your money and really applying war on debt, where you're not really spending well. And I'm taking the family out to eat multiple times a week. And then to put on top of that, when the weekend comes to really spurs, because we had such a good week accomplishing all the things that we did well, of course, we had to go have a really fancy dinner. And you can tell over a period of time, that led me to being 60 pounds overweight. I mean, legitimately 60 pounds. Now, when I started the health journey, and I'll back up for a second because I want to just tell you something. Our coach, our master trainer, Carmen O'Quinn, is the boss at this. She is the number one person I have ever worked with. She is so accomplished in this area, and if you ever have a chance to work with it, or our other health coaches that we have here at Destiny Global, I encourage you to do so. But let me tell you something. Carmen O'Quinn is a master at this, and she broke things down in such a tangible way. But when I entered her program, it caught me off guard, because it all started off with where I wanted to be versus where I was at. The vision for my health, because here's why. I had a vision for every other area of my life, my finances, my marriage. I've been here for a while, right? I'd been at Destiny Global for a while. I'd been to First Steps to Success. I'd been to Dynasty multiple times. And so working through these things, I had all these goals, but I was literally ignoring my health. And so when she said, what's your vision for your health? doo-doo-doo. You could hear the crickets chirping, right? So it started off with really creating a vision of what I wanted to be. And so she said, I want you to think about what you want to look like. Pick someone that you would like to look like, right? And so the person with a similar build and my size and the way that he dressed was really the modern day James Bond. So very similar height, very similar build, similar weight. Well, when I wasn't fluffy, let's put it that way, with the weight that I'm at today versus where I was. And that's kind of where it started, was with mindset and my vision of where I wanted to go. Why is this so important? Because without vision, people will perish. That is so true, not just in your business life or in your marriage or in your goals and where you're striving for. That is literally so true in your health, because we have to be intentional about what we're doing. And so this journey brought me to the real understanding of I call it the 4 simple truths, right? And Carmen did such a fabulous job of breaking these down in the program. But the first thing was I had to look at my thoughts about food. I had to look at my relationship of why I was doing what I was doing. Why was I battling? And by the way, this was really exaggerated for me. Typically, at the end of the year, every year for at least 6 to 8 years, I was probably gaining anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds that I was not taking off. So they start doing the math. It starts adding up. And it wasn't coming off because I wasn't working it off throughout the year. I was actually then increasing upon that. So year after year of not caring for myself. And the holidays became something that we celebrated, and we still celebrate as a family, especially when it comes to Thanksgiving. That's a very important holiday for us. And we gather around the table, and let me tell you what, the pumpkin pie, Dr. April Brown makes an incredible dressing. If you ever get to taste it, it's worth it. But let me back up for a second. That's not where my problem was. It becomes with the 3 pieces of pumpkin pie. After the day's winding down, we're all watched the football games or the activities of the day. We've all been out. We've done our hunting. We've all had our successes. Well, we're going to have another reward piece of pie, right? Just slowly adding to my weight, deteriorating my health, and kind of where all this hit the wall was when COVID hit, and I got sick. And that led me down a path to end up being hospitalized. Could have easily cost me my life. It got that bad. But through the grace of God and a lot of hard work, we got to the other side of it, and I knew that I had to change something. And of course, that's where my wife and I really pressed into what we needed to do different, jumped into Carmen's program, learned so much, learned about myself in a different way. Because, by the way, your health journey is personal development just like anything else you're doing. Your health is so important. Your health is actually important to me because your health gives you the energy and desire and purpose to continue on. Do you hear that? It literally helps drive your thoughts in a positive direction. When you have increased energy and you have increased productivity, your attitude's positive, guess what that does? That makes you a better worker. That makes you a better employee because you're being more productive. You're bringing a PMA, a positive mental attitude, because people that exercise and take care of themselves have a higher self-esteem than individuals that don't on most of the cases, right? I can't say that's always the case, but in many of the cases, that is true. That is absolutely true. So when I want to, consider where I was and where I am today, it first took us to my thoughts, because thoughts are your blueprints for actions. I wanted to say that again. Your thoughts are your blueprints for actions. So I had to start beginning to change my thoughts, my attitude, my vision. My thoughts needed to align with my vision, which was then followed by my actions. Now, where did those actions take place? When I go to the grocery store? When I go to restaurants? Am I going to stay on the plan that helps me get fit? Or am I going to vary off that plan and decide that I'm going to treat myself, reward myself again, instead of staying focused on what I really wanted to accomplish? And we learned something going through that program that was so powerful. And it's this. Does what I'm doing align with my goals? And if it does not align with my goals, then why am I doing it? So literally verbalizing that item does not align with my goals, or this item does align with my goals. So as we go to the grocery store, making sure that I'm buying stuff, putting in the cart that I'm going to be taking home to nourish my body, needed to align with my goals. When I started doing that was the very first thing that had to change, because I could not exercise my way out of it. I literally could not. I was eating so many calories a day, and I was making excuses left and right of what I was doing. It was bad, okay? I admit it, right? I was doing so much rewarding. I wished I could tell you that it wasn't, but I was going to very expensive restaurants. And these were habits that I literally learned and started adopting, because I would take clients out starting years ago, and I would take them out to dinners. And then as I moved up through the ranks and got higher, it was constant, right? April and I were at football games. We were at professional baseball games, at basketball games, and constantly entertaining people, which 9 times out of 10 involved eating, almost always, and not cheap eating, right? It's eating the stuff that's not going to be the healthiest. And you had to have 3 courses, of course. The appetizer, your main course, and the dessert. That's just how it is. You got to make them feel special. Well, you don't want them to feel bad, so you have to have it with them. You can see where I'm going. So literally, I had to reset and recalibrate my thoughts and my actions. So when I'd go to the restaurants, I would make sure that it aligned. Or if the restaurant was really not even close to what I wanted, I would bring my own food. And that takes courage, and that takes resilience, because you're going to get asked a million questions. You're going to get asked a million questions when you do that. And you have to stand there and realize, you know what? I'm doing this because this is what aligns with my goals right now. I want you guys to really enjoy your meal. I'm going to enjoy this. So thank you so much. And then I would just change the topic and keep moving on. Switch the topic back to them, just like you do in form that we teach at First Steps to Success. So that the thoughts, actions, because then it begins to get into something deeper about beliefs. Thoughts, actions, beliefs. Your belief of yourself begins to change as you continue through this journey to realize something that you couldn't do that now you are doing, and you're starting to see results. Because in the very first week of that program, I dropped 6 pounds. 6 pounds. I wouldn't believe that was possible. And by the way, I had very unrealistic goals when I first started. I thought, man, if I lose 20 pounds, I'm going to look good. Folks, I'm here to tell you at 25 pounds, I could notice a difference, mostly in my face, but I could not notice a difference in the size of my pants, okay? So just to let you know, it happened over time, but I had to get in my head that the thoughts, the actions, and then the beliefs that I was seeing a positive change was actually aligning with my goals. And you say, well, how can that be? Because sometimes we want such immediate gratification and how you look, yet the scale doesn't lie. That is simply feedback. We learn that through this process. It is simply feedback. So as I'm stepping on the scale, guess what? The scale's not going to lie to me. It's showing me that I'm dropping weight, even though I didn't look that way, even though my mind didn't feel that way. And by the way, as I lost 40 pounds, I could not get in my head that I was fit. And I was certainly getting fit at that point. Right? I dropped 2 pant sizes. A lot of things had changed. I was feeling so much better. All of my blood indicators were in the right place versus when I started in very bad places. I mean, everything was out of normal. Almost everything was not good. Triglycerides, you name it, it was not good. By that point, when I had my physical done, which annual at that time, the numbers came back really good, but it still hadn't registered. And I had to begin to believe in myself that I was healthy, believe in myself that I was fit. And then once that belief started taking actions, guess what happened? My habits were formed so that I started having total healthy habits. So as you begin to battle the bird, as you begin to battle during this season, I want you to take these things into consideration. Your thought, your actions, and your belief. You have to do that before you start, filling your face full of pumpkin pie and all the good stuff, right? Because at the end of the day, there's a very powerful statement that Jack LaLanne used to say that I just find hysterical. And it's true, those that stuffeth puffeth. And believe me, I was so guilty of that, right? Not paying attention to what I was eating, not paying attention to what I was putting in my body on a consistent basis. And then ultimately not feeling good about myself. Yeah, I want you to feel good about yourself. I want you to be healthy. I want you to know that your health affects your productivity. And productivity affects income. Productivity affects attitude. Productivity. Guess what? After I got fit, other people would make comments and things and ask questions, or you're getting too skinny. Some of them were positive and some of them weren't. What I had to do is anchor back to that belief that I had accomplished the goals that I wanted. So much so that I changed my entire habits and changed my lifestyle. This was not a diet. This was not a fad. It is literally part of my life. It is a lifestyle change, and it is how I operate now. Controlling so that my mouth does not get to control my health. Yeah. See those taste buds in the back? They love sugar. They love all the things that don't align with my goals. So I have to limit those and take control of those. So thoughts, actions, beliefs, and your habits. When those things get in alignment, you are on your way to a healthy, happy, productive, unstoppable life. So as you're developing your healthy habits, I want to encourage you to do another healthy habit, and that is get yourself to First Steps to Success in Orlando, Florida in January 2024 so that you can reinforce, get with a group of people that believe in you and encourage you to keep hitting your goals. And thank you for joining us on this edition of Success Tips. Boom. Yes. Nailed it.